Hello, everyone. This is Kathleen, and I'm here with my design team project for Stacy's Stories on Etsy for the month of March. And I just I want to kind of make this into two parts. So this is part one today, and I'm kind of doing this toward beginner junk journalers. Um, and because I have been reading several, I don't know, comments and threads on the groups that I belong to on Facebook, junk journaling groups, about using digital kits, using designer papers, and how does that fit into junk journaling? And if it's beautiful, how is it a junk journal? Anyway, I don't want to get into that whole discussion. Um, but I find it an interesting discussion, but I also find it quite foolish. And so I don't really want to get involved in the argument, but I just want to show how I use digital kits and other things together to make the kind of junk journals that I like to make. And people can do whatever they want in junk journaling. I really believe that, and I think it's wrong, to try to define or label someone else's art, not unless you're dead and gone and you're a master. We can label their art, but I think we should be really kind to each other and stop trying to say junk journaling is one thing or another. Anyway, that's just kind of my opinion. Um, but I really appreciate being able to use beautiful digital images wherever I want, and I really admire the artists that are so talented this way and give us such resources to add into our books. And Stacy has so many beautiful kits, but this Poppy Blossom Blue vintage digital kit is really appealing to me. And it has several elements in it that make it easy to use as a kit to complete a journal, or to just add in to other projects and other things that you might want to do. You don't have to use the whole kit. It has beautiful papers, but it also has these beautiful elements that can be used in many different projects. And that's actually one of the things that I really like about Stacy's Digitals. Um, I mix and match them a lot, the ones that I have, and they go well together. And there's not a lot of wasted stuff for me. I can print what I want, use what I want, use them in a number of different ways. And so I really like using Stacy's Digitals. Anyway, but here's the steps that I go through. For those of you who are maybe beginners, trying to understand, how this whole process works, this is the process I use when I use digitals in my journals. So first of all, I examine the kit. I decide, how I want to use it and which pieces I want to use, and then I print those pages out. So what I've done this month is I'm going to use, Stacy has it organized into ephemera pieces and page pieces. And she has these beautiful ephemera pieces, like these beautiful flowers. I'm going to layer them actually and make a layered flower. This can be a label, it can be a journaling card, a number of ways depending on how you print it out. This beautiful image, I'm not sure yet how I'll use it. Here's a couple of beautiful envelopes. I can use it, fold it, and make it an envelope, or I could cut this part off and use that as a pocket. We'll just see what I want to do. I've printed this page again on a different type of paper. I've printed these to use as tags. This paper is cheap file folder. I get it at the dollar store. You know, you get a dozen file folders. So that's 24 pieces of paper for $1. And I like the weight. It doesn't add too much bulk in my journals. I can just make that a nice journaling card and slip it in. Here's another piece with these pretty like label pieces down here, and then some other. I've also printed this on card so that I can use these either as pockets or I can use them as journal cards. A number of different things I can do, so I've printed that a couple ways. Here's the same thing printed on one of those file folder cards. And then the images in this kit this month are very faded out, and I really like that. Very misty, very romantic seeming. So I have printed some on this white linen paper and some on, this is beautiful, and then this design on the back. Love this. I really love this piece. It's just this beautiful poppy, but it's very faded, and I like writing over top of things like that. So, and then I have also, because I don't know exactly how I want to put the signature together, but I have also printed on one side of this rough, kind of off-white tan paper, the same. It's just beautiful images. And I can, because they are so faded, I can see myself just journaling on top of these images. So I've got the papers printed for the signature, and then I can, if I want, I can just stop there and just make a simple journal with the kit. But I like to add other papers and extras into my journals. And I know I can make a cover from the digitals, but I'm going to use this this recycled book cover, and then probably do a collage or something. I might take an image and put it on the front. We'll see. But then I have pulled some of these things out of my stash, additional papers to add in. And I do that using the colors in the kit kind of as a guide to choosing other colors, you know, that I might add in. So obviously I like the blue in some of these vintage papers that I've chosen. This is a Tim Holtz Water wallpaper. I've pulled some other interesting kinds of things. This is some onion skin vintage hotel stationery. Some other blue papers that I want to add in. Here's a paper sack from Belvoir Castle. And then just, you know, some book page. This is a coffee dyed kind of print that I did with a stencil that ended up coming out blue. That will work. I just have, you know, some other kinds of papers that I have pulled from my stash that I think will match and enhance the kit. And then I have printed a couple of things to use from others of Stacy's Digitals that I have. Some labels. This was the labels. You'll recognize this from the other video I did last month on using labels. And then this is from the Bursting Butterflies kit, these two, and the colors just match, and so I pulled that. And then I have a couple of designer papers that I think match these. So we'll see how many of these I use, because I'm only going to make it. It's not a very big spine, so it's not going to be a big journal. And then I have pulled from my stash some other kinds of ephemera and embellishing kinds of things to add the details, which is the next steps. But this video, I'm going to now I will trim all of these and bind the book, and then I'll show you how it looks, and then we'll choose and add the embellishments and details to it. And then I'll do a final flip through of the journal that is completed. So those are kind of, I've got this I'm thinking of this in terms of three videos. But one thing I did want to mention is in this step, when you are adding other papers and extras, you kind of have to judge the mood of the kit so that you're not mixing moods. And what I mean by that is, you know, as Stacy mentions, this is a vintage digital kit, so the mood is vintage. The mood is very misty and romantic, and so I knew I wanted to choose blue things. This is blue, right? But you can see that the illustrations are kind of 50s. There's a mood of, and the graphic style is evokes that more modern kind of mood is the only word I can think of to describe what I'm trying to say. I hope you can understand. The illustrations, the font, the colors, the graphic organization is all way more up to date and more modern-ish than what I'm hoping to do in the journal. So I'm not going to use this, even though it's blue. I'm not going to use this because it would be a jarring element in the otherwise mood that I'm trying to evoke. So keep that in mind as you're choosing your colors and the additional items that you might include. Okay, so that's where we're going to stop today, and I'm going to go trim these papers and bind the signature, and then I'll come back and in another video we'll talk about how to embellish and add details with the kit elements and with these other things that I have chosen. And then we'll talk also about ephemera and extra things, details that will help the journal be finished. So that's where we are. This is part 1. I'm going to go away. We'll come back with part 2. Thanks so much for joining me. And if you want to play along, go on to Etsy and look up Poppy Blossom Blue Vintage Digital Kit, Stacy's Stories on Etsy. Thanks for being with me. We'll see you again.